Alright, I believe we're live. Let me just do a quick audio check. Yep. Very much audible. And there you go. The link has been shared. Hello and welcome everyone to the Hybrid Theory Racing League Realistic Division race around beautiful Barcelona. We have 12 drivers with us racing tonight. We may have Jin Kibikitsune, your steward, joining us for comms, and I am myself Chip Chima, moderator, co-founder, and only commentator, more often than not. But regardless, we do have quite a few people out on track. Just hello, Shooter. Would have been nice to see you racing tonight. But do let us know your predictions for the race. What do you think can happen? And yeah, who do you predict to be on pole and taking the race win? As Abhishek's in the Alpine is love. Alpine has a bit of a little moment with the left hander into this tricky section of the track, and this beautiful repurposed section. That chicane is absolutely atrocious and horrible. I hated it every living moment it was there. I'm so happy it isn't there anymore. And Abhishek's to the line. Goes P3 ahead of his teammate for the night, VFX, who is, I think this is his third or fourth race in a row driving that majestic blue car that Abhishek is also in. But we have Nishan, who is on his, I think, one of his very first laps on the game, maybe. He is in the Red Bull, given that Charles Leclerc didn't join the session on time, and obviously, him being Nishan being a reserve, he will get that car in this situation. But Nishan going through the last few turns into the last corner, a decent length with there, obviously losing quite a bit of time, and he only improves his time, doesn't improve his position. And Shooter saying that Vivix, Abhishek's Baz and Caesar. Alright, so you're discounting Jishnu, Jishnu and Harsh in that case. And Caesar at the moment, where is he? Wow, that is a true... I think Xavi has really been promoted well beyond his capabilities and where he should be, given the fact that Caesar is on those green tires, green wall tires, as opposed to being on either the red wall softs or the yellow wall mediums. Caesar is taking some very interesting gambles with strategy there, but let's see where this lap can put him. It's a pretty pointless thing to have a look at, but Noble, I believe, messed up in that section, and he is now going to box, no doubt about that. But what about Caesar? I think even on those inters, he may be able to beat Harshi's time. And actually, if I must say so, he's actually putting in a very competitive lap time. I think he may, if he gets to the line in time, he may even be able to get around where Nishan is at the moment. Yeah, there you go. He's 1.3 seconds off Nishan's time. But that's on an intermediate set of tires. So, yeah, it's some interesting tactics, I must say. And we have the other Red Bull. So Caesar currently in a Red Bull sandwich. The other end of that sandwich is Hershey, who is now exiting sector 2. He's only up by 5 tenths, but I believe he made his mistake in the last sector, given he is 6 seconds behind Caesar at the moment. So Hershey, he is looking to do a little better than last time out, but unfortunately I don't think he's on a quick lap. He's on a charge lap or something. Yeah, he is going for another lap. That's a pretty poor line to take through there if that was not lag for Hershey. But starting his lap, the Red Bull driver, let's be on board with him actually through the remainder of throughout this lap. Going towards turn 1, brakes nice and decently to turn 2. The sweeping right hand of turn 3, and look who's joined us. Swept us all the way is Jin. Hello Jin, welcome. As we see Hershey in sector 1. Hello, somebody in chat can please let us know if he's audible. And yeah,
I'm just gonna load into the lobby now. So
do you have an invite?
Yeah, I do have an invite from Vivek, so probably it'll put me in a car if I'm correct.
No, you can select spectate. Like you can just press triangle when you join. So
it'll give you the. That's a, as Top Gear would say, that's a top safety feature right there.
Yes, you must always be safe, as PSI often says. Shooter saying hey to you, Jin. as Harshi
Hello,
ends
shooter.
Sector 2, apparently purple. Not sure.
It's a
But
glitch in the
uh,
game, man. Like, let's not look
so,
at it too seriously.
what, actually, yeah, it's my fault for being so. It's expecting so much. It's only been in the game since F1 2017. So,
Oh,
actually, I
yes,
don't
by
think it
the
was
way,
there.
people
But
watching the THTRL stream, whoever is watching right now, please know that tomorrow we start off with the first race of our MotoGP league as well
yes.
from THTRL side. I forgot to mention it in the rulebook. Chips will probably update it, but I think it goes without saying. But I do believe we still need to say that riders do need to record their own POV. So
Ah,
yeah.
yes. Of course. Of course, drivers must always record the POV because I.
Pilot, not
Yes.
riders, pilot.
Yeah, pilots must always be recording their POVs given that an incident can occur at any given point in time as we, for example, we don't know how Bifix just invalidated his lap. We would have loved to see it from his POV and
I
welcome
think
Jim.
last runs, yeah,
Yeah.
I am now in the lobby. I was gonna say, I think, oh my god, I forgot to select the spectator. Anyways, I'll just retire from the race, it's fine.
Alright. So
No,
that
I
shouldn't be
actually
an
did.
issue.
It's not like one each sort of moment that Malav had. I actually did forget to choose spectate as an option.
No worries, no worries. Let us know when you
With
retired.
Catalonia,
Okay.
again, I don't think there should be any pit lane cuts or pit entry cuts that should be reported because I believe that Catalonia's entry is pretty straightforward.
It is. It is pretty straightforward. I don't think that you can really cut the pit entry here. Yeah, there's just few tracks that you can't cut the pit entry at. Say, for
It
instance,
says that
Suzuka.
I am in spectate mode, so if I never choose a car, is it fine or like how does that work?
I
Because I have
think
no
that
idea.
is how it is gonna be. Like, if you don't select a car, then I think you will remain in spectate mode.
Oh, that's
I think
actually
that's.
quite good. Oh,
Yeah.
Basil in the Aston Martin again, and Basil, of course, driving the Aston Martin in another league as well,
Yes.
Indian Racing League. So yeah, we shall see how that goes.
Will you
Chips,
remember to hit the brakes
you
this time?
yes, Chips. I think you had an eventful race, didn't you, in IRL?
Oh yes. I prefer not to speak about it. I lost one of my long time standing records over there. It's not one. It's not one to be really proud of, but I did lose it, so
Oh,
still hurts.
Vivek's on for his
But
outlap,
yeah, yeah.
and
I
of
think you
course.
want to take us through the lap. Oh,
No,
he's not
Vivek is just
on
out
a.
on his out lap right now.
Oh, never
Jishnu is
mind.
on a hot lap. I'll
He,
take
he
you
finished
through
his lap.
that
He just
one.
finished his lap.
Oh, Jishnu just finished it. 11.739. So, performance difference, of course, being seen. One thing is there, though, that I don't think the performance is exactly updated because I feel like the McLaren and the Ferrari should be neck and neck in terms of performance, given how the season ended for both these teams.
Yeah. They
Also,
should,
I've
but
heard
then again, Jim, you're
rumors that,
expecting Codemasters to make
yeah.
performance
Also, I've heard
changes.
rumors that Ferrari's this what do you call the car launch is going to be more in line with how the European teams do their car launch. So we're not going to see any of the usual jazz pizzazz that comes with Ferrari car launches from
Ah,
this season onwards.
that hurts as a Ferrari fan. But
Abhishek has just gone P3 right
and
now,
his
and
teammate, Ido
is
to the fix is about to start his lap. Would you like to take us through the lap?
yes. So
Take
Vifix
it away.
just crossing the start finish line right now, and he's heading towards turn one. There's a Mercedes there, won't bother him really all that much. Brakes well for turn one, takes a good amount of curbs both on turn one and turn two, up to turn three right now, going through. And yes, pretty much this is a crucial braking point here. One slight mishap, and it says he's half a tenth over his fastest lap. So right now that improvement will not put him any higher than his current position, but it's always second and third sectors where you have to watch out for. This sector can be pretty tricky. Very easy to lose a back end, but he keeps it well planted there. Keeps on going straight up to the DRS zone, I believe. Yes, his wing is open, and now he'll head into the hairpin, the remodel section coming up now. And I actually am glad that Spain got remodeled because as
Oh,
much as and Harsha just retired from session, as much as I did like Catalonia as a track, it was this last sector where there was a chicane that actually made it a pain to drive on the older F1 game. 110, 111.814,
oh, it's P3.
that puts him P3.
Look at the gap
And I
between
think that
Vifix
should
and
be it.
Abhishek and Caesar between them. Just look at that gap. It's what would it be? 35 milliseconds is the gap between P3 and P5, and between them is a Ferrari. But yeah, as you said, that
The
chicane at the end, that was a
Yeah, the chicken.
horrible, horrible part of the track.
Yeah, not a
Uh,
fun experience at all. So
uh, yes, that was pretty shocking to drive every time round. As Shrikant is on the gravel trap, Hershey is on a hot lap,
don't get me
and
wrong, though, Chips. I actually think Catalonia is a very, very fun track,
it is.
both on two wheels and four wheels. It's traditionally been used as a testing venue as well for F1, if I'm correct. Was it used last year? I'm not so sure
I think
about
they
it.
were just at Bahrain. But they have historically used it, I think, since 2015, 14 or 15. They've used it till 2021, I believe. From
Yeah.
22 onwards, they started going over to uh, Bahrain.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
mean,
it's becoming. Oh, Hershey makes a mistake there, loses quite a bit of time. But yeah, I'll say, do you like the fact that F1 now does its preseason testing over in the Gulf states as opposed to Europe, where it's historically always done its preseason tests?
um, I am slightly divided in opinion because when they test in Bahrain and then the first race itself is in Bahrain, I think like 1 week or 2 weeks after the final testing is done. There's a lot of relevant data that shows up for teams, so you really don't expect much of a surprise, you know?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
I
So,
mean, let's take into context like, for example, Las Vegas 2023, for all the negative connotations that came with that track. It was pretty fun because teams just didn't have the data to do it. But anyone who's expecting a repeat of that sort of a race is in for a disappointment because now teams have every bit of data they require from that track. So it's
yes.
very hard to produce races which are genuinely exciting year end after year end. And I believe that I don't know. That is just my point of view on these sorts of things. Also, because Kota is a traditional racetrack, Las Vegas is an amazing street circuit which has all the glitz and the glamour. It kind of makes Miami an outlier in terms of the American tracks that we do go to.
Yeah. I don't think that anybody is particularly a very big fan of Miami. I think people like Vegas. They're starting to grow. Vegas is starting to grow on them. I think it's that's the case for me at least. Shrikant is retired for some reason. So people are retiring. Do you think this is because they just don't feel like the track has anything left in it anymore to
Yeah,
give?
this track is very weird on the game that towards the end, this track has no very minor improvements because there's so many marbles on the racing line itself. So you have to put in a very exceptional lap in order to go faster. With other tracks, this is not the case. So we shall see. Noble has
That's
gone
true.
faster by only half a tenth in his lap. I think it should be a 112.4 or it's a 112
1-0.
flat. So yeah, I mean, see, minor improvement right there as well. So I on other tracks that sort of a lap, at least 210, 2.5 tenth if I'm correct. So yeah.
I think that's right. We
Also,
easily
one
would have
reason
just
why
yeah.
I'm kind of worried for Catalonia is because there's a lot of political connotations that go with Spain. So Catalonia,
Yeah.
depending on who you ask, can either be an independent territory or not an independent territory. And then there's a
Oh,
street, and Ramen has been disqualified from the session for going the wrong way.
did he miss the pit
So
entry? Do we still have
I
that
think
bump at pit entry, or has that been
I don't
removed?
think I don't think we do.
I
So
think that has
Ramen will now
been.
start last. Yeah.
Yeah, he will start
No,
last.
I was
Easy level
saying
is here.
the
Yeah.
problem with this track is that because of Madrid street circuit that is being rumored quite heavily now.
Hmm.
I don't want to lose Catalonia on the circuit because I believe that we have too many street circuits already for its own good and too many night races as well. Night races used to be a very special thing back in the day, and
Yeah,
now,
honestly, yeah, that's like every other race just wants to be a night race.
yeah, I mean,
'Cause we
Bahrain
have
is,
Vegas, we have Qatar, we now have Saudi, we have
we have
Singapore, we have
Bahrain
Bahrain.
is
Yeah, of course, Bahrain as
Bahrain,
well.
Abu Dhabi.
Abu Dhabi. Abu Dhabi is more of a transitional race. You don't.
Yeah,
It's
but
not
I mean, it does end in the night time. So also the Singapore was special because it was
the
a
first.
night race, the
Yeah,
first ever night race. It was a visual spectacle. But now it's just become another meh track. Honestly, no matter how they remodel it, it's just
I quite like the previous layout of Singapore, honestly. It was
I like the first ever layout of Singapore
the
minus the pit
sling.
exit. The sling, yes. I
Yeah,
believe the sling should make a comeback.
yeah. It won't. In this era of safety, there's no way that something like that is gonna come back. See, the 2000s were a very wild time for the world. It was like that phase and no one really knows what's going on, but they just have to carry on somehow. So they just experimented. You don't see that anymore. You won't see too much risky things being taken, but Caesar going all out to the line, and Caesar improves to P2. So he makes it a Ferrari 1-2. I would love to say that during some point, hear that at some point during
There's no
this season.
there's two Red Bulls. Yes,
Yeah.
I forgot. But I mean, it's Hershey and Napshan were very close in terms of the timing sheet. It's 565
Yes.
and 589.
And Abhishek has not had a very good lap. Basil did his lap without any battery. So I'm not sure if that was on purpose or that was by mistake. I
Oh,
was tracking his
look at
lap.
Caesar using Oscar Piastri's Google. No, that's a Lando Norris's. Sorry, the Google Chrome helmet. I think, if I'm correct.
It's true. I think that it's one of the McLaren helmets on a Ferrari driver, but regardless, we have 8
I
drivers
mean, I
within
was
1
using
second
a
of the
Haas helmet
leader.
on in a McLaren car, so
Chalta hai, koi nahi. You can use any kind of helmet that you like, as long as it's not all the colors. I forgot what's Mazepin's colors. I don't remember. But yeah, nonetheless, this is your top 13. Raman would have been, I think it was 112,444, so that would have put him just before Harshi. So Raman would have been P8, but he was at P13 because he's disqualified himself. And yeah, it's a Ferrari 1-2. Can they take that into the race? So, Jin, what's your prediction for the main race?
I mean, since ERS region is a very tough thing here, I think if you are in the Ferrari, I mean, there's no teams championship, but
Yeah.
if I'm the Ferrari drivers, I will try to push and make a gap in the beginning, so that and it's really put me in a car, the Alfa Romeo.
It has?
Yeah.
Never mind. But do let us know the weather,
Anyways,
the...
the weather says sunny.
Ah, you want to see some changeable weather sometimes. But yeah, I don't think that's the case.
Oh, I was the first
Yeah.
one to ready up. So sorry, everyone. So sorry, I was the first one to ready up. Shit. I didn't mean it. I didn't mean it. I genuinely didn't mean it. I just pressed X out of force of habit.
I think they'll all be all right with you doing that. But do let me know when the counter goes to
9,
five seconds and so. All
8,
right.
7,
Six
6. I mean,
and
I'm
a
not.
5.
I don't even have to restart. So
Yeah. But do try to have a nice
I've
restart
been.
and then
It's a
just back
little
off.
weird for me to use
One
the
light,
clutch system
two
on this
lights,
game again.
3 lights, 4
4
lights,
lights, 5
5
lights,
lights.
and
It's
away we
lights out,
go.
away we go, and it's a great start for Caesar at least at first, but he then bogs down a little bit, and they're all going
Nishan
side by
has
side.
given
Nishan has
everyone
also
space.
given up for some reason. Caesar
Nishan is
and
using hard
Harsh.
tires, which is very interesting to
We'll
see.
have a look at the tire
Normally,
situation in a moment. As who is that? That's Abhishek, who's just made a colossal mistake. Yeah, he is on the runoff area and he comes onto the track just ahead of Noble Ghat, ahead of Shrikant, was behind Noble Ghat. And yeah, that is a very close race start. I think Abhishek was possibly first stop there. As what's going
okay,
on
I
here?
just have to make it to the pitch without crashing. Otherwise, I'm going to be responsible for a safety car, which I
Yes,
do not want to be.
that is going to be a bit
I'm
of an
driving
issue.
as slow as possible right now. Slow in F1's terms is 220 kilometers per hour right now. So
That just puts into context how different they are from normal cars. Jishnu had a massive snap, and now he's going to be under threat from Vivek, who is using battery. And Vivek's having to work for it. Jishnu will not make it easy for him, and Jishnu does not make it
I
easy for him. He
think
stays as he is.
the first stint of Spain is all about battery conservation. Because you
Yeah.
don't regen battery anyhow, so the first stint has to be about battery saving. So people who are a little, I would say, a little greedy on the ERS, I think
I
that's the
mean,
right
I'll
term
say
to use.
traditionally it's been Raman who's been a bit greedy on the ERS. I don't
Yeah, I mean,
see.
if I had to put it into D2 context, a lot of people I see in D2, they're very fast over the initial phase of the race, but then the pace bogs down because they use up so much ERS in the beginning
And
itself.
Jishnu going for a dive on Caesar, almost being swiped there by the Ferrari driver. And I think Jin, you're in the pits. Fair
I
enough.
am retiring from session now.
Thank you for
That should do it.
that's a very nice best way to go about this race start. But I'm really happy to see the top five so close to one another. Jishnu is struggling with his front
Jishnu
end, I
looks a
believe.
little all over the place
Yeah, but
right now.
he's fast. He's on the soft tires, but he is really struggling with his front end. There's something wrong with that McLaren car for him. I
Oh, it's
don't think he's
surprising
in
that both Ferraris have gone for hard tires, but then again, it is understandable because in realistic performance, that Ferrari's tire wear is
pretty bad.
atrocious.
Yeah, I think that's actually the
I think
best way
all
to put it.
Ferrari powered cars have very bad tire wear on this game. So yeah,
Yeah, that. I think that's right.
I think Vivix is probably doing a mediums to softs from the looks of it. Jishnu will have to do a soft to mediums. There's no two ways about it.
Yeah.
He's in a car with
Oh,
and that's
Hershey's
a
crashed, and that's a VSC. Or is that a safety
why
car?
is my car out on track?
It's all right.
It's
Because
at the end of it. It's literally in the first sector
did
right
you
now,
retire
finishing
before
sector.
you entered your pit box, or did you retire
I
after your pit box?
I retired before I had to take the right turn to enter my pit box, and now my car is
Yeah,
DNF
that
properly.
makes no sense. That makes no sense. Why your car? Why an AI car must come back out on track?
So,
But yeah.
what do we have the safety car for? Please tell me that it's
Hershey,
not my
Hershey.
car.
No, it's not your car.
Okay.
It's Hershey
Thank God,
crashed
thank
and
heavens.
brought out the
Thank
VSC.
heavens, thank heavens.
And yeah, so he's now on the hard tires, Hershey. He's in
Okay,
the Red
so
Bull, but not doing much with it, I think, at the
all I'm
moment.
going to say is out of the front four, prior to this virtual safety car, Vivix had the most battery. That's all I'm going to say. I'm not going to quote numbers, but yeah.
Yeah, I think they're just trying to regen a bit of battery now, and I sincerely hope nobody gets a drive-through. Yeah, yeah, always want to hope for that. Hope for the best for everyone.
It's a virtual safety car. Sometimes it's very glitched because it will say 2 seconds and then suddenly it will go into the red, which makes no sense whatsoever if you think about it.
Yeah,
and I thought that virtual safety
I
car
think they're
had
about
nearly ended
to
there.
start now.
Yeah, it
No,
should
not yet.
end right now. I think everything has
I'll
been
be on
cleared
board
up.
with Wicked Vicky, who is actually on track in the right spot for the moment at least. He is driving very well on those hard tires in that
DRS should be enabled now,
not in
because it
that.
was a VSC.
Yeah, DRS will be enabled, I think. Down the
So
main
now
straight.
it's a
Let's see.
DRS
Yep.
train. It's basically a DRS train.
But
There's
will
no
Caesar
point
go
in
for the
overtaking
offensive?
right now.
Will Jishnu go for the offensive?
I
think
think the better clue
Look
is
at
just
the
to stay in
closing
the
speed
DRS
on that
train.
Ferrari of Caesar, and he makes the move on his teammate for the night, and he's through. Caesar
Yeah,
with
I
a
was
great
just going to
move.
say that it's more or less going to be a DRS train from this point because you really don't want to burn too much battery doing these things right now. Caesar had to overtake Hirsch for one crucial reason, because it gives him first entry into the pit box.
Yeah. And I don't assume that there's going to be any team games here, given that.
But as we've seen in league racing, sometimes. Jishnu just made contact with Hirsch right there.
Jishnu, yeah.
I was just going to say, as we've seen in league racing, a lot of times there's sometimes undercutting, and there's another yellow flag, and it's not a safety. Oh, it's not a safety.
Is he level bot? I think it might have been.
I think. No, I was going to say that there's no point sometimes undercutting in league races these days, because if you get a safety car, so that's why I traditionally believe in the overcuts, and it did work out well for me in Belgium.
Yep.
So yeah.
Yeah, it's not always the case. Sometimes you have to account for the fact that there may not be a safety car.
On the other side, yes. Yeah. I think Wicked Vicky is using ERS. The way
Wicked Vicky, yeah, look at the way he's absolutely kissing the rear end of that Alpine. And Vivix has no DRS. Vivix has no DRS.
I think he fell outside the 1
That's a bit of a rarity. You don't usually see Vivix struggle like that. And Vivix has been overtaken also by his teammate Abhishek, who after a disastrous start is making inroads, making moves, and he's now ahead of Vivix. Although these two have used up quite a bit of their battery, as we can see from their dash there. Has something happened to Abhishek? No, that was just natural there. So Jishnu, despite being on the softs, Jin is not really able to make those moves on Caesar or Harsh.
Because it's a 2-car block and they'll always stay within DRS. So it's kind of like a soft gamble is only worth it if you're starting P1 or P2 in order to get the launch. Anytime in Spain, if you're starting below the top 2, my honest suggestion is to try the mediums out. Hard tires, I feel, are a little pointless. Because with hard, you can go a bit longer.
If you have good pace, you can go a bit longer. And
okay, all I'll say right now is amongst the top 6, Vivix has the most ERS and Wicked Vicky has the least.
Yeah, Wicked Vicky is trying to get into the DRS of Jishnu, right? So he will have to use a bit of battery there to be able to do so. And I think he should have DRS. Yeah, he's played it to perfection, and Vivix Does have DRS this time around, but he is 2 places down than what he was on the previous lap. And these two are tussling. They are trading places every now and then. Harsh showcasing some good pace, I must say. These two are teammates, obviously in the same car. Caesar has a little snap on the rear end there, but he keeps it under control. While Jishnu is not really able to extract the most out of these tires. Not sure how that's gonna pan out for him in the end. While we have
I
another
think
two
the
teammates.
McLaren is kind of on his tires, but the difference of two compounds is too much. Had he been on the mediums, this would have been a very easy race for him at this point. But because he's on the softs, he'll have to be slightly more aggressive than he'd like to be in this phase of the race. And yeah, I mean, it's still anyone's race to win in the top 8, I'd say. It's still
Yeah,
anyone's
and I
race
was
to
just
win in
gonna
the
say
top
that the
8.
top 8 has 3 pairs of teammates running in tandem: Harsh and Caesar, Abhishek and Vivix, and Noble and URL Basil, who is the tail end of the train here. Raman is driving his own race at the moment, so is Shrikant and Nishan in easy level. Harsh is a long way back. But as we go onto the main straight, so I'm not sure how this Ferrari team game is going because these two don't seem to be on relatively equivalent levels of battery, Harsh and Caesar.
Yeah, I
And
mean, Caesar is not exactly pushing. I think the best thing to try to do is to goad the lead driver into a mistake right now.
that
If
does
you
make
can,
sense.
yeah,
Yeah.
if you can stay lap after lap on someone's tail, there are chances that they make a mistake. Or they could be brave and try and overtake at an unexpected point on the track.
That's true. You could definitely see that. As
Look at
Wicked Wick is fallen out of DRS, and is that Hershey again? No, that's easy level bot who's had a bit of a moment. Let's have a look.
Yeah,
Car looks
he has.
intact, so yeah, he's
I think the first pit stop for Jishnu should be around lap 11, lap 12 at this rate. So he'll probably have to switch on to the
hard
mediums
tires.
after the
Depends
hard
on
tires.
his tire
Yes,
wear. I think depends on his tire wear.
yeah.
Honestly, I that was an equal performance. Though I did a race where I was expecting high tire wear over here, but I went from softs to
Earlier edition of
mediums.
the games used to have high tire wear around Spain, but then that was also because the track was so much more demanding on the tires. This one, it's lesser. There's more
Little less
lateral load,
demanding, yeah.
but there's a
Yes,
lesser tire wear that occurs.
yes, less demanding on those tires, and we can see that rubber lasts a little longer in these games, as this is a great DRS train from the lead, which is about to change, and Caesar takes over the lead of the race. The hands keep changing at the top. It's sometimes Caesar, sometimes it's Harsh. But will it stay this way by the end of the race, Jin? Do you think?
I don't think so. There's a
Given
lot of
that,
shuffling that's going to happen in
yeah,
order post the
exactly.
first phase. The first phase of the race is kind of meaningless, honestly.
Oh,
If
easy
the
level is
pack is
retired.
from it's in the pits.
Yeah, he did want an invite and there was left. I'm not sure what's happened there. But yeah, no worries. We hope to see you again, easy level, racing with us soon. Basil still on the back of Noble. He can't really do much. I don't think anyone can do anything at this point unless the driver ahead of you does
Vifix
not
has
have
just
DRS.
gone. No, that was Vifix. Vifix has just
That is
been very
Vifix. That is Vifix
Vifix,
who had a
yeah,
bit of a
very
moment.
very
What's
well.
happened there? Can you explain?
I have no idea. I think he got a snap of oversteer from the looks of it because the car just like
Yeah, I saw some. As I was doing comms with him once, I saw some kachra on his tires.
yeah, this. Oh yeah, tire marbling is gonna start pretty soon after
Yeah.
lap 10.
Yes, Vifix, I think, just had a little snap of oversteer, went for a trip across the gravel, and he's. Thing is, Jin, we don't see Vifix usually have such movements. He's gone from P4
I
to
mean,
P8 in the first few laps.
we'll see how that
Vifix,
pans out. Basil is a little dicey on the ERS situation right now,
that is
and so
true.
is Wicked Vicky, and so is Jishnu.
Yellow, yellow,
So
yellow. Oh, that's my gosh! It's a retired car. Of course, a retired car has to come back out on track. So, if any moves are being made, they had to be cancelled out there. But yeah, Jin, what's your take? Should a lapped car not come out on track after it's retired?
no, it shouldn't because if you've retired from session, there's no point in the AI taking over and like bringing the car out on track. Plus, with ghosting off, I don't even know how that's going to work.
But Jin, it's so hard for Codemasters to do that. Please understand.
Please understand the factor that we put in. so much time
You
of the
know,
game.
Jin, understand this. They had to press the control key and the C button on their keyboard, and then they had to do the same with the control V. That's what they had to do between 22 and 23.
Yeah,
Imagine.
the only
That is,
thing they just improved was the traction model. That's it.
and the handling.
And
And
Abhishek
Hershey
has
has
gone.
retired. That's gonna be a definite safety car. Yep.
Yep. Now
So
the hard tire runners are a little screwed.
quite screwed, honestly. I don't think that they can switch on to the mediums and go 23 laps
No,
when
the
their hards have just gone 10
mediums
laps. But
won't last that long. They'll be
this
caught towards
is
the end very, very
this
badly.
is a
So right now,
lifesaver for the mediums and the soft runners.
For
Yeah.
Jishnu, Abhishek, Basil, Vifix, and everyone who's on medium tires, this is a lifesaver. So right now, I expect a busy entry into the pits. But for Vifix, I think it's a good thing that he's actually 4 positions down on his teammate because there's lesser chance of a double stack right now.
What's the gap between them? Let's have a look. So Abhishek is 3.4 and Vifix is 6.3. So Vifix needs to back off a little bit more if he doesn't want to be
He
held
can
up.
afford to
He
because
can
Raman
because
is.
Raman's 5 seconds behind him. So yeah. But does it make a difference, Jin? Like if you go into the pits a bit later, because I think the the pit crew will change your tires at the same speed regardless of when you come in. Whether you because the set animation will not change the speed of that animation.
Yeah,
As
it's not like
Harsh is
career
building up a
mode
little
where you
gap, Harsh is
can.
building up a gap. Is that allowable? Is that allowable? It's 2.3.
Um,
It was less than a second. So he is also
as long
boxing.
as it's within 10 car lengths, it should be fine. I think that is within 10 car lengths, to be honest.
And everybody apart from Basil, Basil is not boxed. On those mediums, Basil has not boxed.
I think Basil has stuck to the mediums to soft. Basil has stuck to the mediums to
That's
soft.
a bold call, I'll say.
Gamble.
And
That's a gamble.
Nishan has
That's a
stayed
gamble.
out. So Nishan will inherit P2.
So Ferrari's had to double stack, so Caesar is probably losing positions right now.
No, I think that's Harsh is onto the softs. Okay. He expects another safety car? He
The fix
expects
is
some
on to the
chaos.
hard tires.
That's sensible. The fix. I would have expected him to win the hards, but
Okay, so. Oh, yeah. It would have been Harsh who had to double stack. Yes, sorry, my
yeah.
bad. Yeah, so now Caesar is in the running because if he can get past Nishan and Basil, there's easily a very big buffer that he can create to the rest of the grid right now.
Yep, I think that is quite possible for him, as Basil and Nishan are now Linus turn at the front of the field, but they have not made their mandatory pit stop yet. So, when do you expect them to box? Given that Basil is on the mediums and Nishan is on the hards, when should they box?
So 3 laps will go under this. Both of them will probably box around the same time now because the tire delta will be the same. Nishan is also on the Red Bull, so I don't see why he needed to start on the hard tires, considering that the Red Bull is best in terms of tire wear. So yeah, both of them I expect them to box around, let's say lap 20, give or take 13, 7 more laps. Yeah, lap 20. But if there's another safety car after this, immediately, I mean, like 1 lap after the restart, they're both kind of screwed because they won't be able to build up the gap.
That is true. But I actually also don't see how Caesar will be able to get to the end of this at a good pace because those mediums will fall off.
Caesar will get caught by the hard tire runners. And just to keep in one thing in mind that I think the Ferrari has a certain percentage. I don't know what the exact percentage is, so I'm not going to quote it on stream. But I believe that if a Ferrari can do 18 laps on mediums, a McLaren should be able to do 20. So Jishnu might actually be in a race winning position because he'll have 2 more laps of
Jin, I would have expected Jishnu to maybe go for the hards, given that Vifix and Abhishek would also be on the hards, and he was the only one of the top few who were on the soft tires. I think he was the only one remaining in the field when we had the safety car who was on the soft tires. So it's a bit questionable why Jishnu has gone for the mediums here. I would have expected him to go for the hards, given that it's a little safer bet in case there's no further safety cars in this race. Let's see if it pans out for him. We may just not know that he's very good at tire conservation. Abhishek.
It depends on driving style as well. So traditionally, Jishnu is someone who I'd like to put as. And Jishnu, please do not take this personally. But yeah, I mean, Jishnu is someone who I traditionally put as a poor user of tire conservation. He's very aggressive, but he burns his tires also at a very fast rate. So,
And I think that's something that Abhishek would like to hear, given that Jishnu is the car ahead of him, and he would
yeah, I
obviously
mean,
like to
Abhishek
overtake
doesn't
Jishnu.
have to attack him immediately. He can
Exactly,
start
yeah.
attacking around the lap 18 point.
So I think the hard runners need to play it smart at this point. It's Abhishek, Vifix, and Raman. They just need to play it smart, bide their time, let the medium drivers
Now,
kill
if
their
I'm
tires,
Basil,
and
I'm
then
gonna
go
be
about
honest.
it.
If I'm
But yeah,
Basil or Nishan right now, I'm not gonna use too much battery because it's kind of futile to do so. You have a, let's say, a 10 lap deficit on, no, a 10 lap increase on everyone else. So it's like you're on 11 and they are on 1. So Basil should take us now. He's not gonna take it to the line, is he?
oh, somebody's in the box. Basil
That's
has
Shrikant.
taken
That's
it to the
Shrikant who's in the
start
box.
finish line. Shrikant
And
gets
he gets a
first, and
5
he was
second
speeding
penalty.
in the
I
pit
think is he
lane.
retiring from session? Yeah, he has
Why
retired from
do
session.
that? Why do that?
I think he might have got damage.
But that's no reason to just retire. Anyways, we'll carry on with
Look
the
at
race
how
here.
much grip
Yeah,
advantage Caesar has.
yeah. Caesar
This
is
is
just
one of the very few times that you'll actually see
oh,
a Ferrari attacking a Red Bull.
and I think there's going to be a
Oh,
McLaren
just
attacking a Ferrari here, but I don't think there was enough space on that straight for that to happen. As
yeah,
Caesar stays
these
behind
cars
for
are
now.
too wide for their own good.
Yeah, I don't
That's an
really like that
Alpine
about these
diving
cars.
down Jishnu's in. Oh
Oh,
no
the
no
Merc
no
and the Alpine have
no
crashed.
no
Wicked
no
Vicky is out,
no.
and that's another immediate safety car.
And that's bad news for Baz and Nishan right now because the entire pack is huddled up together. So they'll end up coming out last, provided Abhishek doesn't have any damage.
Had
They'll end up
Shrikant
coming
waited
out
a
last.
sector, he could have still been a part of this race and could have had a chance.
Well, Shrikant and pitting under dodgy timing of pitting under safety cars is a lore now.
Honestly, I just don't get why you would retire like that, but
I
I
mean,
think
everyone's
Basil and Nishan
guaranteed
will
points now.
box.
Everyone's guaranteed points now. They just have to complete 90% of the
90%,
race.
exactly. 90%
So
would be
90.
lap 29. Oh, Nishan carries on. And who is that Ferrari
Brave
boxing?
Harsh.
Harsh. Harsh is boxing.
Harsh
Alright,
has to box
fair
because
enough.
his strategy wouldn't pay off. Now he's going to go on to the mediums. I'm 100% positive about that.
Yeah, I think that does make sense. These people have done 3 laps. He has done 0 on those mediums. And let's have a look. Yeah, that's mediums. That's a great call by Eugene. That's
Yeah. I
Nostradamus
mean,
like call.
it's
It's pretty
elementary,
straightforward.
my dear.
Understandable,
It's
yeah.
elementary, my dear Watson.
Yes.
There's a very bad Sherlock joke with it that comes. Anyways, I can tell that joke right now. It's a little, I'm going to say it's a little PG, that joke. But yeah, so once Watson catches Sherlock having, let's say, escapades with a certain girl, and he says, Jesus, Sherlock, she's so young, is she in high school? And then Sherlock says, elementary, my dear Watson.
Oh my. So I'm not sure how the 2024 public will take that, but that is quite a yeah. That's actually a appropriate description by you of it being a PG joke. But yeah, nice.
Yeah, I mean, I did give out the disclaimer prior to telling that joke, so.
Yeah, exactly. There's a disclaimer there, so if you don't want to hear it,
And
just
honestly, Chips,
skip forward.
I'm gonna say something right now. If people honestly want to cancel me, a nobody relatively, I don't even know what the world is coming to these days. Then
It's I think professionally people are out there to be professional cancelers at this point.
I
Learning
think
to
should be a
find
job
the
description now.
you're just describing X, formerly known as Twitter. Yep.
Yeah,
So
I
many
mean,
names for that. Yeah.
yeah. I mean, Nishan, very interestingly enough, can't pit right now. All he can do, hope and praise that
He
he
can
doesn't
go
lose
onto the
position.
mediums, Jin. I think that he can go onto the mediums. He's just
No, I think he's just staying out. Either it's a troll move or he's staying out to go onto the softs.
um.
Okay, so now Harsh has gone
Oh,
ahead
who's
of
that?
Basil.
No, Basil boxing. Basil boxing. Onto
Okay,
mediums.
I
Is it?
think, yeah, it is. No, wait, what?
Yeah, Basil is boxing onto mediums. I think because there's no reason for him to box again from hards
No,
to
it makes one bit of sense is that Basil would only lose one position if he did it.
yeah. That is
So
true.
he's matlab, effectively taken. I wouldn't even call it I wouldn't even call it a gamble. That's basically the safe bet
Yeah,
that
he's
he's
actually put
taken.
himself in an advantageous position here. Given the fact that he's not going to have the freshest tires of anybody in the field, he's on the
Yeah, the
middle
only thing
compound
that could
instead
screw
of the
Basil
hardest
out is
compound.
if by lap 22 or lap 23 another safety car came out. That's the only thing which would screw
Yeah.
everyone out right
Yeah.
now.
So, would you say at this point, Jin, that Caesar, Jishnu, and Noble are in a disadvantageous position by a long shot compared to Harsh and Basil?
Not by a long shot because there's still a lot of overtaking to be done. Harsh has to go past Abhishek's,
And
Raman, and Vifix
the
in
fact
order to
remains that
even
these
get close
people,
to.
while the ticker may show 4 laps, they've effectively done what is it? 1 lap overall.
Yeah, so at best their tires would be 5% more worn than whatever the fresh mediums runners are. So
Trouble is that 5% may be a little, the number may be a little higher for Caesar, given the fact he's in a Ferrari and that is
yeah, so
historically
Caesar is around
rubbish on his tires. Yeah.
6% or so.
I'll say maybe 2% more, 7. And Basil has caught up to the field. We should see the safety car in this lap. What's
I
he
think it should
doing?
be a late. I think it'll be a late call. I think it'll
I
be a late
think
call.
he is trying to prolong it one more lap. Is he, Basil? Oh no,
it'll
safety car
be
in
in
this
this
lap.
lap.
Yeah, he's gonna just go for it now.
It's a very, very late call though.
Yeah.
So now
It is. So I'm gonna be on board with Jishnu. Would you like me to be on board with anybody else? You can do the restart.
right now, I think Jishnu would be the best person to be onboarded. I'm going into the cockpit, not TV podcast, sorry, to go on board with him. I'm just gonna see. Now Nishan won't exactly get the best of launches because he's on older tires.
He's gone.
He's gone, and that's what I mean. Look at that car is not planted at all.
And I think that's going to be a straightforward move for Caesar, who should be able to get past without any
but
issues.
I don't think Jishnu will get past Nishan. So right now,
not on this occasion.
Not on
Look
this
at that closing speed. Look at that closing speed on the McLaren there compared to the Red Bull, and Harsh and Abhishek I think
inside.
Nishan is no grip.
Yeah,
Nishan has.
It's like the Singapore issue that Red Bull had when they decided to stay out when everyone else pit.
Exactly. So why not just box for mediums, as Nishan has I think done exactly what Red Bull did in Singapore. Noble with a beautiful move around the outside. Given that, despite the fact that Nishan
is probably gonna let Vifix by as well.
Yeah, they are. I think in the same party chat, so there's no doubt about that. It's gonna be coming down to whether Raman
slightly went onto the grass.
Yeah, he did.
It's not the best of exits.
And Nishan and Raman are gonna go side by side here.
It's a little dodgy to dive down the
I think
inside.
Harsh may have made contact, and Nishan is now all the way in P8 and soon to be P9. I'm not sure why Nishan
has
lost 8 places in one singular lap, and why he's allowed it to happen this way. Because I think that he should have boxed. I still think he should have boxed for mediums, given the fact that the Red Bull is
amongst the top 4,
really
top 5, Vifix and Raman are on very similar ERS levels. Caesar has the least.
Although I think Harsh could change that count, as he may be looking for a move on Raman.
Ferrari down the inside. Oh, that is very, very dodgy. The thing is that with turn 1 in Spain, you always think you have more space than you actually do.
Yeah, it really just narrows very quickly the corner, and I think that's a good feature of this track, given that it creates a bit more of a challenge. But sometimes with the drivers you may not want to go wheel to wheel with, it could be a bit dicey if they don't leave you enough space. I think that
the race is entering a
close but fair. Right, but it is. Yeah, I was just gonna say that I can't see any close battles on track. I do, however, see Basil and Raman
behind Raman.
Yeah,
and Basil has the ERS advantage here, so he'll probably have to wait till the start.
I think he's gonna pressure Raman into making a mistake at the penultimate corner, not the last corner. So I think, look at the grip he has compared to the McLaren there. So I think he's gonna maybe force Raman into a little mistake here. He does not actually.
I think Harsh would be better off waiting right now because he would end up using too much ERS if he tries his overtake right now.
ERS enabled.
I know what he's trying to do, but at the same time,
he's not
I don't
go
think
for
it's a 100% guarantee overtake. So.
Oh, he does go for it. And Vifix leaves in the space. Vifix has to go off the track and come back onto it in a bit of a...
that was a little
the escape road,
close for my liking. That was a little too close for my liking.
Yeah, I think that... I'm not entirely sure if Vifix had to take that much avoiding action there for Raman. For Harsh, sorry, my apologies.
I mean,
but I think then again,
had he turned in,
it would have been major contact. So
damage to both cars,
fair enough. It's hindsight, it's judgment, but it's every driver's individual judgment. That's what I mean to say. I think Vifix fair enough that he had to take the escape road there. I think Harsh did go for a dive. I was not expecting it. I don't think you were either, right?
Yeah.
So
Because
I
the
was.
thing, because I was like, if he has to chase down other people in this pack, the smarter thing to do would be to ensure a much more straightforward overtake with the DRS. Because there's enough laps for you to make it to the other people. So I don't necessarily see using that
Jin
much
Vifix is
DRS as
outside
a.
DRS again. Does he have damage? Do you
I
think
don't
he
know
has
yet.
damage from that? Did he, when he went off track, did you see the car like bounce or something?
No,
Because
no, I
that
didn't.
is usually a
No,
cause
that's
for underbody
also
damage or something.
Ramen's battery has started flashing.
Yeah, so Raman, as I said, traditionally is not great on battery. As you can see there, I think it's like 11 or 10% right now. Just by Andaz as Vifix trying to squeeze Basil there, not
Yeah,
giving
Basil
him
can't go
the
for the
space
overtake.
there.
That was
Yeah,
actually good racing by both of them.
yeah,
Smart
that's
racing.
it's smart, fair racing. I think these two have a history of really racing close to one another
Yeah, they
very
do a
often.
co-op career as well. So
Exactly. So they know their strengths and weaknesses, and they know that they will push the other driver all the way. Currently, it's Vifix ahead, but it could very soon be Basil because given the
no,
fact that Basil is on
Vifix will
pressure
get DRS
tires,
again. Vifix will get DRS. So I think the overtake
but
might have to wait a little bit.
Basil has a little more grip, I think, compared to Vifix. Vifix is
Yeah,
not really like he's not smooth
Basil.
sailing.
Yeah, I mean Basil can edge more than Vifix right now.
He's on the pressure tire, so he could go about it a little more aggressively. Sorry, but yeah, I think Vifix is now getting back into his mojo. What we
Yeah,
always know
see,
we've
look
known
at
him
that. That's
for.
the problem with Raman using that much ERS to
It's
overtake.
inconsequential. One lap, you can't just do that for one lap glory.
Yeah, that he should have saved the. See, now he got overtaken by both Basil and Vifix. So
And
this
he's
was
going to be
bound to
under third from
happen.
Abhishek. He's going to be under third from
Yeah.
Abhishek soon.
It's
And look,
pretty
he's going off track.
straightforward as to the reason why it happened. So, meanwhile, Noble, look at him pressurizing Jishnu right now. Noble has some good pace right now. It's
Noble has
refreshing
really
to
been
see.
on it since the. I think Redstone giving him the Aston Martin is really gonna make Redstone very proud. He asked to be given a better car, and I think he is making the most of it. Redstone told him to go win it. Can Noble do so? 14 laps left in this race. Can Noble do this? Do
I
you
think
think?
Noble can because Jishnu doesn't have DRS. So I
Jishnu,
think it's
yeah,
a matter of not if, when that overtake will happen.
that is true. I think that Noble is really in a very good position here. Let's have a look at Abhishek and Raman. So can Raman hang on to the back of these two, Vifix and Basil? I think it should be doable for him, but I think given if he
I think
falls
it's
out
a
of DRS, it's going to
DRS.
be a
It's
big
going to
issue
be a
for him.
DRS train. Even with the closing speed of Basil,
And
he's
look,
going to have to
Noble
pull a mighty
got
dive bomb right now.
Noble got a little close to Jishnu there as well, and Vifix
Yeah,
and
but that's a
Basil
good
did
move by
listen.
Basil altogether.
Yeah,
That
I
being said,
wasn't
but
able to
Basil
plan
has
that.
considerably lesser ERS, and Raman right now struggling majorly because he doesn't have any ERS to burn.
Yeah, Raman, if he loses his momentum and a bit of time, he is really going to be out of the picture
Raman will
here.
have to literally drive on the edge of his concentration right now because point being that if he loses even like 3/10 on this lap, he's going to get attacked by Abhishek.
Yeah, Abhishek is just waiting there, waiting to pounce. Abhishek is, you don't need to give Abhishek a second invitation to make
Noble,
an
meanwhile,
overtake.
has not made inroads into Jishnu. I think Jishnu is burning.
I,
Yeah, Jishnu is burning a
Jin,
lot of
I'll tell you
battery.
what I think Noble is doing. He's saving up some battery. As Jishnu went off track there, he may have got a track limit warning there for doing that. As
Yeah, I think because between the top three right now, Noble has the most ERS. So
yeah, and Noble is actually, I think what he's trying to do is he's trying to build up some battery. He has a healthy lead over Harsh right now. He does have DRS as well, Harsh,
Harsh
but
is
I think Noble
nearly
is
in
gonna go
danger
for it.
territory with his
Noble is gonna
ERS
go for
usage.
it, and Noble's gone for it. He's made the
Noble's
move.
gone for it.
He's in P2.
Yeah.
Let's see if
Now
we
he
can
can
close up
just.
on Caesar. Let's see if we can close up on Caesar.
That
Abhishek
depends
is
on how
also
hard
past
Jishnu
Raman.
fights him.
Abhishek is also past the McLaren of Raman, so Raman's ventures with that battery pack have not been very fruitful for him. He's fallen down to P8.
Basil is not making inroads though into the
He's
car
losing
in front.
time. He's just
He's
lost two
losing
tenths
time.
to Harsh in one corner. That's what's happening to him. Is he out of running low on fuel or something?
I have no clue.
Never mind, he's
Seriously, no,
positive 3
there's
on
no
fuel.
reason he should be. There's no
He's,
reason. There was two safety cars. There's no reason for
yeah,
him to
he's
run low on
positive 3
fuel.
on fuel. Yeah, I just had a look at that. So people are good on fuel. There's no reason for them to be struggling like that. So
Meanwhile,
Basil, I
Harsh
think,
is,
is just not trying to use battery right now, or does he have no
yeah,
battery?
I think he has. Let's just say compared to Vifix, is in a severe deficit.
Yeah, I just had a look at the dash. That's quite a deficit, honestly. Yeah. So Noble has actually lost 4 tenths to Caesar on this lap, and he
I
may
think
be
Caesar was
re-overtaken.
just, yeah, Caesar was just flexing his muscles right there.
Let's have a look at
But
Caesar's
The
battery.
problem with this overtake is that Jishnu again is low on battery. So if he does it, he'll probably get re-overtaken the next lap. So
And as you pointed out pretty brutally to him, he is not the best at his tires as well. So if you're Jishnu, what do you do? Because you have a
hope and pray
fast
for a
Aston
safety car.
Martin behind you. You have a
Hope and
Ferrari
pray
that
for a
doesn't.
safety car. Hope and pray for a safety car. That's the only thing that's going to save this race for them. Because if they go on
Uh,
safety cars right now, everyone will have to pit for softs.
there's 9
There's
cars,
no,
Jim. Can we have a safety car at this point in the
you
race?
never know. I mean, it's like there's no nobility in staying out on mediums or hard tires if there's a safety car. I have chosen softs every single time.
Yes, I think that at some tracks the faster tire is really the better option. Might,
Unless it's Monaco, unless it's Monaco.
yeah, unless it's Monaco. Monaco, you really can hold the other driver back in a multitude of ways. But yeah, so I think this is actually playing out perfectly for Caesar. Given that Jishnu and Noble are just trading places every now and then, Noble's using a little bit of battery, Jishnu is having to use some battery to defend. And Caesar up ahead, he has the most battery. I think he has the combined, just I think you can check that. I shouldn't be doing that. So does he have the combined battery of Jishnu, Noble and Harsh, Caesar, at this point in time?
He's about, let's say, 6% down on that combined.
That's really close though, and that's not a stat you should have ideally when you're in that
No,
situation.
the thing is
But
that
yeah,
this pack would be better served just being in a DRS train right now so they can get close to Caesar. The more fighting they do, the more battery they burn, the more advantage it goes to Caesar. They have to be
exactly. So
in
I
a
think that
DRS train.
they should let the faster driver ahead and just tag along. But
Yeah,
then
that is
again, it's a matter of ego as well. Who's the faster driver? Obviously, all three of them will say that they are the faster driver. They won't just want
it's a
to
matter
give
of
up that
patience.
place.
Sometimes the better moves
Yeah,
are done when you are more patient with how the race plays along.
yeah.
I mean,
Obviously,
I
you
forgot
will.
who it was who said, but I think there was this one famous commentator who did say that races are not won at turn one.
They're not. They're absolutely not. I
Yeah,
think they're
to
talking
finish
about
first, you must
James
first
Hunt.
finish. That is as simple. Yeah, I think so. That was
James Hunt,
James, and
maybe.
then I think so. And then I think Senna or someone said to finish first, you must first
That's
finish.
Shumi. That's Shumi. Michael Schumacher.
That's Schumi. Yeah, that's Schumacher. Sorry.
So yeah, very famous. And there you go. Once again, these two are going lap after lap, trading places. They're losing time to
Yeah,
Caesar. They're losing
that's
battery, and that's. See again, as I said, you have to be smart about it, but it's also a matter of pride. If assuming they're in the same party chat, they will not want to give up the place and say that okay, you're the faster driver, I'm not. It's also a
I mean,
matter
to
of
be
pride.
honest, like it's not even a matter of pride right now. Sometimes you have to swallow your pride in order to
You have to,
look for
but
the
then again,
better of.
in this case, I don't think they're in the same party. If they were, they would have understood that a while back, and they're just battling with one another. They're losing time, and the thing is, I think, Harsh has been not making any inroads right now. He was leading the race at one point at an early stage in the race, and he is now just stuck behind Noble and Jishnu, both of whom are
Because the
just
problem
making
is that
moves lap
all of
after
them
lap.
are 2, 3, and 4 are in a DRS train.
Yeah, and
In
is
fact,
Vifix
if
catching up?
anything, if they continue fighting,
Vifix
Vifix
will
will
catch
catch
up.
up to that pack. Yeah.
If this could still be a podium for Vifix at this point in the race. Jishnu has pulled away a little bit. I think Jishnu is using up a bit of battery, although,
But he doesn't have much to play
yeah.
with.
As let's have a look, Caesar has a lot of battery. Noble will not be able to make the move on this occasion. It's lap 26. They're running out of laps. Caesar is in a comfortable position. Caesar has a lot of battery to play around with, and even if assuming that he makes a mistake, Caesar, he's still going to be in a very advantageous position here. And Basil and Vifix, I think, is also stabilized. They're just line astern right now. Vifix is ahead. Basil has a little snap there on the rear end. But do you expect any moves being made? As I see once again, Noble Guard is very close to Jishnu. Can Harsh do anything here? Do you think?
No, not really. Right now, all he can do is patiently wait because the gap between Jishnu and Noble is also so close that
The fact of the matter remains that Harsh, despite just following them so close, he's not regaining as much battery as I expected him to. Or maybe the ER's region is just that bad that even though he's regaining, the region is quite good for him, it may just be naturally pretty poor around here that it's just not visible on the dash. Once again, I think this time around as well, there's going to be no moves being made unless Noble is very brave on the brakes and Jishnu gives him enough respect and enough room. Noble
no,
decides
it won't
against
happen.
it.
It
Yeah.
won't happen.
Basil and Vifix also, nothing happening here. And see, Abhishek is still there. Raman's fallen off. Raman's now 2.8, almost 3 seconds behind Abhishek. Should he box for to make an attempt for the fastest lap?
Nishan, I mean, he has the car to do it.
Nishan and Raman actually, both of them can do it. The thing is, Nishan may be in the better car, but he doesn't have the on-track experience recently. He's just been out of the game. I think he's been not played the game for a few months, I think, at this point. While Raman, he may not be in the best car, but he has quite a bit of speed under him, as we have seen across league racing. He has really been getting quicker over time. What do you do? If you're them, do you box? You're gonna get either P8 or P9 regardless. Nobody ahead of you seems to be making a mistake right now.
Yeah, I mean, I'd box. At this point, there's nothing to lose.
But would you box at this point, or would you like regen a bit of battery and then box?
Vifix meanwhile has made up 3 tenths in the last 2 laps. So if he keeps going at this rate, by lap 30 he'll be in TRL zone.
Jane, I think just confirm this. Noble and Caesar are on equivalent levels of battery, and Jishnu is really down on battery
Jishnu
compared to
is
these
down
two.
on battery.
Yeah. Oh, Harsh has had a spin, and that's gonna give the position to Vifix on a platter. Harsh,
But that's made things easier for Noble now.
yeah, it
Because
has.
he only has one car in front to look for.
Exactly, he doesn't have to worry about Harsh now, but I'm not sure why Harsh just had that little moment there.
Too
All of a
greedy on the
sudden.
throttle, maybe?
Oh, is it tires? Let's have a look at his tire temps. So his rears are really, really hot. Understandable, so he just had a spin. But yeah, I think Harsh just got a bit too greedy on the throttle there. You're right, you're right.
Now Vifix would be hoping that Noble and Jishnu start fighting. Because once they do, it brings his car into play.
Honestly, I think Noble is just. I'll tell you what Noble is probably trying to attempt for a move on lap 31
30.
or something.
Yeah,
31. Because Jishnu doesn't have enough battery right now. Caesar is in a good position. Caesar
has just managed this race really well, but the problem is that
actually I think he's got a bit lucky as well from those behind him just battling constantly lap after lap. So
there's one disadvantage to Vifix being outside DRS zone right now. The fact is that Noble will always gain 2-3 tenths on him just on the straights alone through the power of DRS.
Yeah.
So every inroad that he makes in other parts of the track, that is negated by the fact that Noble has DRS.
So he needs to make up about 5 tenths per lap, and that is going to be a challenge given that he's on 18 lap old tires.
But so are the guys in front, and Vivix has the better compound for this last.
For the end of the race, yeah, that's true. So he's already gained 2.5 tenths, 3 tenths. There you go.
Now he's going to lose it again because there's a DRS zone coming up.
Yeah, and I think Vifix is also struggling with the rear end. He's not really enjoying that rear end right now, Vifix. As we can see quite clearly, the Alpine driver is struggling, and the other Alpine, Basil, is in an Alpine sandwich here, and I think that Abhishek could also be a bit of a threat here to the Aston Martin driver. Oh, Jishnu has a massive moment, had a tail end snap, and now this could be an early move for Noble.
Noble will get the overtake done.
Yeah, he needs to get a good exit out of this corner, and even if it doesn't, I think he has. Will he use battery though? He shouldn't use battery. He should not. Or maybe he should.
He should have. He should have because he has so much battery advantage. But
will he go for a dive here? Will he go for a dive?
No, he won't.
So I expected him to go for a dive. I didn't expect him to not make an attempt at all. So Noble, not sure why he's done that.
In fact, the best driver in this position is Basil, but he's not able to get past Vifix. And if he can't get past Vifix, he can't challenge those up ahead of him.
That is true. with Basil in regards to Basil. But I'm not sure why Noble just did that. Noble could have actually got ahead of Jishnu, and he has quite a bit more battery than the McLaren driver at the moment. As Harsh has boxed already, I would have expected him to box a little later, given the fact that you box at this point in time, you're effectively... So Raman and Nishan can still box and steal that fastest lap away from Harsh.
Look at Vifix meanwhile, 1.2 seconds now.
This is, and look, it's actually coming down 1.1. It could be almost 1.0
No,
as well, but
DRS zone. It won't be
so
DRS.
it won't be DRS. But I think Vifix, this is the closest he's been the entire this stint of the race to these top few. This is actually the first time I think he's actually genuinely within a shot of the podium during this part of the race. As once again, Noble just does not make a move there, and is that smart of him?
It's very smart. He's going for the second last lap overtake. I think he's gauged where Jishnu is weak, so all he has to do is just be.
However, in doing that, he has allowed Vifix to close up to him, catch up to him, or maybe Jishnu is backing
well for Vifix for one reason. Because if Noble gets past Jishnu and Jishnu doesn't have the battery to defend, then that means that Vifix will hunt him down.
Vifix and Noble are on. Oh, never mind. Noble has quite a bit more battery than Vifix at the moment.
But Vifix now has DRS.
I think Noble should definitely look to get the move done on this lap. This lap as in the lap that begins at the start-finish line. That one, not this lap 31. The start of lap 32. But he needs a good exit onto the main straight, and I think Jishnu may not let that happen on this. He's using battery, Noble's using battery. I think that's absolutely played to perfection. He gets a good exit out of the last corner. Vifix is a long way back.
To get an overtake done.
But will he be able to? Will he be able to? Jishnu is a long way ahead. It's gonna take an almighty dive. It's gonna take an almighty dive from him. No, he does not. He did not get the perfect exit there. I think Jishnu somehow has perfected his gear shifts, because there's no way he could have done it on battery. He has no battery to attack with and play with.
In terms of battery, he has no battery.
That is absolutely spot on. The thing is also, Caesar is... The gap has remained relatively straightforward there or thereabouts. Caesar has not gained or lost any time there. Nishan has been overtaken by Harsh and he's already 5.4 behind. So I would have expected him to box, or maybe Raman to box. Why not just attempt a fastest lap at this point? Not sure. But we are going to see a great battle here, Jin. P2 to P6 are separated by, let's have a look, 228, 128, 2 seconds separate 5 cars. Who's it gonna be?
Realistic division. I think Noble is now losing time to Jishnu. This is a little worrying.
Exactly this, and Caesar's just lost 5 tenths to, I think, that's what they're trying to do. Caesar's gonna give him DRS, but look, he's 5 tenths behind Jishnu. That is really not played out well for him if Jishnu gets a good run, but I don't think if they're in the same party chat, Jishnu's gonna attack him. And Caesar being supremely kind, the supreme leader. Who's that? I think Abhishek and Basil may have made contact. Yep, Basil is on the run-off there, and Abhishek has to come back on track there.
Look how close Noble is. It has to be a dive at some point.
But will Jishnu give him the room? Will Jishnu give him the space? The thing is now Jishnu has to contend with Caesar's dirty air, which he did not have to account for during the previous laps, and this could open up a door for Vifix to make a move here.
Literally making contact with Jishnu's rear end right now.
And Jishnu, they have no battery. None of them have any battery, but I still think that Noble has slightly better grip. Although Jishnu got the better exit out of that corner. DRS on this straight. Who's it gonna be? I don't think that Noble can make the move, or can he? He has a little better straight line speed. No dives going into that corner. Vifix can't do anything here. Can anything happen in this last part of the racetrack? Who's it gonna be? Is it gonna be Caesar, Jishnu, Noble, or Vifix? Who is gonna?
It's gonna be Caesar who wins the race. He has more than enough of a buffer to win it.
Yep, and I think Caesar's done just enough. That is a perfect race for Caesar, who comes across the line to win the race in a great fashion. Jishnu finishes P2, Noble and Vifix just over a 10 separating them. Basil does finish ahead of Abhishek right at the end there. Raman
Nishan pitted on Inters for the last lap, by the way.
Yep, Raman with a lonely race in P7. Harsh, unfortunate end to it. He could have been a part of that. I think if Harsh was a part of this pack, it would have been really quite different here. We may have seen a little more battling going on. But yeah, that's the end of the Spanish Grand Prix. Quite an eventful race, I must say. And Nishan is trying to do some farming simulator here, as we can't even see him on the track. There you go. There's the Red Bull. But yeah, what's your takeaway from the race, Jin? How was it? How was it in your opinion? Houston to Jim.
Yeah, I was using the washroom.
Okay, no worries. Yeah, I was
I was
expecting
just
it.
going to say that very interesting race. I think Caesar and Jishnu definitely in the same party chat. Otherwise, there's no reason for
There's
Caesar
no way
to do
for
what
Caesar
he
to
did.
just give up so much time.
Yeah, but I think it's a little down to Noble as well, because Noble wouldn't have expected that. So had he gotten that move done when he was really, really close to Jishnu, things would have played out much, much different than they did right now.
That is true. That is. I don't. I think that Noble was quite caught out there by Caesar doing that for Jishnu. But yeah, there's definitely they're in the same party chat. No doubt about that. And that's a great win for Caesar. I think he showed his benevolence as well here, given the fact that, and he's levitating to show that he is the supreme leader, the one and only true being around here. And yeah, that's your top 9. Caesar wins the race from P2, Jishnu takes P2 from P3, and Noble with a great drive from P6 all the way up to P3. Vivek stays where he started in P4. Basil moves up from 11th to 5th. That's a gain of 6 places. A great performance by him. Likewise for Abhishek, who had a bit of a disastrous start, but he managed to recover it. Still P6 though, he won't be very happy with it. Raman is P7, Harsh is P8 with the fastest lap. Nishan finishes P9 in the Red Bull. Not the greatest race for him. And Wicket, Vicky, Shrikant, Harshi, easy level, and who are our non-finisher. And with that, we conclude the Spanish Grand Prix. Let's invite Caesar, Jishnu, and Noble to the party.
Yes.
Alright. We have. Can't find Caesar. Can you find Caesar? I can't find Caesar. I've added Jishnu and Noble to the party.
Yeah, I'll try finding Caesar.
Quite an eventful race there, I must say. It was fun. Yeah. Greetings, Noble. Hello and welcome. Can you hear us, Noble?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yes. Firstly, Noble, congratulations. That was quite a eventful race for you. I must say that you showcased some really good pace. I believe you were in the Aston, right? Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah. I was in Aston.
So while we wait for Caesar, we'll just get on with the interview. Yeah, I think he's offline or something. If we can just tag him on Discord and ask him to join.
I invited him.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jishnu.
Thank you. So, Noble.
Yeah.
That was some really good pace by you. You were really close on many occasions. 2 questions. One is, how frustrated were you when on the last lap Caesar? Speak of the guy, Caesar. But yeah, when Caesar gave Jishnu the DRS, and also you had opportunities on lap 30, 31, and 32. No, lap 30 and 31 to make the move on Jishnu, having more battery than him, but you decided against. Just walk us through the end of the race. How was it in that battle, and just walk us through it.
The race was really good. I had really good pace, and towards the end of the race, the tires were really bad. And also, to answer your question, I wasn't really frustrated because you can do teamwork. I've done it myself, so why can't others do it as well? So it's alright with me. But if Caesar hadn't done that, I think I could have had a good move on Vishnu on the last lap, but yeah, it's fine. It's teamwork, and I think drivers are allowed to do that. So I'm not unhappy about that, but Yeah, I didn't really know that Caesar was going to do that, so I wanted to stay behind of Jishnu and in the last lap pass him. But yeah, Caesar slowed down.
I think you're going to be quite cross with that, but regardless, I think you can be pretty happy with your pace overall throughout the weekend. That was quite good pace by you. So well done to you, Jim. Anything you'd like to ask him?
No, not really. You've asked the most important question in that regard. So,
Yep. So I guess just well done, Noble. Good performance by you. You can be pretty happy with that. And it's only onwards and upwards from here. Moving on to Jishnu.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm here.
Hello,
Jishnu,
Jishnu. Yeah.
What's up?
Go ahead.
were you happy that the safety car helped you with your strategy? Because you did start on soft tires.
Yeah, that was a mistake though.
Oh.
People read up too fast. For me, maybe I was too late also for making decisions. But
Yeah, wonder who that was.
Could have been anyone.
so anyway, I think I was going to start on mediums. Normally they're sad, but I think starting on softs by luck or something, it was actually really good. I felt very confident on the softs, and they lasted good amount of time also. I think 10 laps with ease it was going. I think it could have gone 2 or 4 more laps on softs. I think the tires were hanging on really well. But yeah, luckily safety car really helped with the strategy. Went on to the mediums, which was a very risky move. But another safety car meant few less laps to drive. So it really helped. But at the end, I think 2-3 laps. I think you can also see that we were clearly struggling, and the hard runners
Yeah,
were
I
easily
saw how much
catching
of a
up.
struggle that was.
And the hard runners were able to catch. But none other. I mean, it was a good race. Other than that, I think quali was really good. I don't think I could have caught the Ferrari guys. The car was quick. But P3 and then P2 in the race was good. And I must say, Noble had really good pace. He was within my DRS for the entire race. I mean, for the second stint, I mean. But he actually showed really good maturity also, and was good battling him. I mean, for his age. So I don't want to say anything else about another driver, but Noble clearly for his age is really mature driver, I can say. But yeah, I mean Caesar. I mean it was not planned, but I think last lap Caesar just wanted to also just slow down, give DRS, and even I insisted a little bit, but I think it was the right choice also because the hard runners were catching up. Anything could have happened on the last lap. So he keeps his P1, I keep P2, so it was good.
Anyways, we move on
Well done,
to
Jishnu.
Caesar.
Caesar, firstly, that's a really heartbreaking comment for all the Ferrari fans that you just posted in the chat. And secondly, congratulations. We both were actually really debating whether the Ferrari realistic performance Ferrari style where you would be able to see it out till the end, but you really did a very good job. That was exceptional, great pace. I think Caesar last season in season 3 realistic division you also won the race around here in a McLaren. So that's 2 wins in a row at the same circuit. How was it?
Thank you. Hello. Not really sure if I won. I mean, I don't remember. If you guys were saying, then it must be correct, I guess. But congrats to you
Not
and
everybody
Noble
can
as
keep
well.
track of statistics as efficiently as Caesar does.
That is true. Yeah.
No, I was actually struggling with the tires as well. I think final 6-7 laps, I really started to struggle, and thankfully the drivers behind me were on the mediums as well. And I guess they were kind of in the same boat as I was. But then it was all about just managing the pace from there. and yeah, just bring the car home in one piece. Luckily, there was no other safety car, even though I thought at the time of fitting that we might need to fit again for mediums, but thankfully the tire stuck, and yeah, the race finished before any worse could have happened.
How close were you to puncture territory?
I was comfortably above 70%. So it was all. It was, I think, could have happened any moment. So I was trying to avoid hitting the curb in the final 3 laps, I would say, just to not have any more, temps, unnecessarily higher temps on those tires.
So, I mean, worked out well, whatever it did for you. So I guess kudos for you for making it work, Caesar. I felt like it was a gamble when you went on to the mediums, but yeah.
Yeah, I mean, racing with all of these guys in the past and seeing them race, even if I hadn't raced with them, I was expecting the safety car. I think keeping the race down to one safety car is an achievement, I think, in the sense that considering that it's Spain and, the fast corners where you kind of assume that you might make a corner flat out and then, next thing you know, your back steps out and you crash out.
I mean, that happened to Harsh. Very nearly happened to Harsh.
It happened, very nearly happened to me as well. I was lucky enough to catch my drift in turn 3. But yeah, not so much hurt. But yeah, I think one safety car, I was really betting on another stop or safety car, but luckily none of that happened, and I was able to keep the position.
All well, that ends well, I guess. Chips, anything else you'd like to add?
Nothing actually. Well done to you.
Yeah, I will add. I think the reason why I slowed down to give Jishu DRS. So there were 2 reasons. I checked the points table before the race. I saw Noble is behind me in the points table, and V6 was well ahead, obviously. So it was all about damage limitations tonight. I mean, obviously V6 will stay ahead, but that maybe 2-3 points less that he potentially could have scored. And same for Noble.
Strategic thinking from the veteran himself. I didn't know all this.
Yeah, there was a reason behind giving the McLaren DRS.
That's a pretty smart call by you. I was actually just gonna ask you this: how was the last lap decided? But yeah, well done, Caesar. That's a great performance by you, and I think you can be pretty proud of that. Well done.
Thank you.
Congratulations. I think that's all, Jim.
Yeah, that's all.
Yes, I think we can conclude it here. So, just thank you, everyone. Congrats to all 3 of you. These are just
and see you tomorrow for the MotoGP race.
Yes, see you tomorrow for the MotoGP race, and see you next week for Portimao, which is going to be a sprint race next Monday. So, until then, thank you. Take care. Good night, and bye bye from all of us.
Bye.